morning, everyone. Today is October 28, 1973, and my name is Amy Sherwell. We have been following a breaking story unveiling in the Middle East, now being called the Yom Kippur War, between the Egyptians and the Syrians in conflict with the Israelis. This has become one of the biggest conflicts among the nations yet. We are now going to take you to Emily live on the scene of the Suez Canal, where she has more details on this event.
On October 4th, the Arab nations Egypt and Syria launched a brutal and unfair surprise attack on Israel. On this day, Israel's soldiers and citizens were celebrating their holiest holiday, Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is even more profound than Rosh Hashanah and is a day of atonement. The Arabs knew a surprise attack was the only way they were going to be able to make a mark on the Israeli military because they were so strong. The bloodthirsty Arabs have been looking to start a conflict with the Israelis after their incredible victory over the Arabs back in 1967. The Arabs' first attack was in two different locations. The Syrians invaded Golan Heights, the land that they pleaded the Israelis to give back to them, and the Egyptians invaded the Suez Canal, where I am here today. Since the cruel Arabs invaded the virtuous Israeli people on Yom Kippur, the military was unable to stop these remorseless Arabs from moving in and crossing the Suez Canal, overrunning the Bar-Lev line, and reaching the 1967 border with Israel in Golan Heights. However, they have been putting up quite the battle. We will now show you some live footage from the front line on the Suez Canal from October 6th.
You stole our land, we want it back!
We have done nothing wrong, it is you who is the sore loser in this situation! Take your consequences and deal with it like a real man!
You betrayed us for too long!
At least we have more respect than you Egyptians! Who invades another country on their holiest holiday? That is just inhumane!
The tensions escalated quickly on the Suez Canal and even more so in the Golan Heights region as Syria advanced about the same distance. Although, on October 8th, the powerful Israeli forces dug down deep and launched a huge counterattack against the Arabs on both fronts. The strength of the Israel military has unquestionably showed through after being attacked by surprise just 4 days earlier. They pushed back the Egyptian military and crossed the Suez Canal south of the Ismailia. Here, the Israelis used the Suez-Cairo road to advance towards the Egyptian capital Cairo and got within 65 miles of it. The Israelis were also successful with a similar solution in the Golan Heights, where the tyrannical Syrian forces were pushed back and Israel emphatically recaptured their lost land. Using the main road from Tiberias to Damascus, the Israelis got within 55 miles of the Syrian capital. For about the next 2 weeks following the Israeli comeback, fierce fighting would continue. On October 14th, one of the largest tank-to-tank battles was fought, with the Egyptians losing a great amount of tanks, about between 250 and 300, and the Israelis only lost about 10. Then, on October 21st, the Israelis made another amazing step in their conquest to defeat the Arabs by encircling the Egyptian Third Army. The next day, the United Nations adopted Security Council Resolution 338, which calls for an immediate ceasefire. The implementation of Security Resolution 242, which calls for exchange of land for peace and negotiations between the parties involved, aimed at establishing a just and durable peace. However, fighting continued between Israel and the atrocious Arabs. Then, on October 25th, a second ceasefire was issued to end the war. Both Israel and Egyptians ignored the ceasefire and still continued to fight. It wasn't until today that the Israel and Egyptian military leaders met to implement a ceasefire at the kilometer 101 marker in the Sinai. Today is the first meeting between these military representatives in the past 25 years. We will now take you live to this historical meeting.
Golden Anwar Sadat. We meet here today to discuss a ceasefire between our two countries.
I suppose we could agree on something of that nature.
Shall we disclose a ceasefire at kilometer 101 in Sinai?
I would be willing to go along with that for now.
My dear sir, it would be a rather good idea to keep your people safe.
It is settled then.
Overall, about 8,000 total Syrians and Egyptians died, and roughly 2,688 Israelis died. The surprise Arab attacks still couldn't conquer the powerful Israeli military. That's it from the Suez Canal. I'm Emily Mankus reporting live for CNN.